My tipping is just horrendous this year. 3 out of 8 last week.
Yeah, but you found the Eels.
Did find the Eels.
On a lonely poo-slinging Monday afternoon.
It's just, yeah.
Thanks, Mitch Moses.
Feel like the last bloke in line at Bonnie Blue. Like, you're still getting one, but, you know.
Yeah, let the record show. It's a green tick.
What a great promotion for our show where we're discussing gambling markets.
Yeah, a little lead in.
Anzac Day long weekend.
We're here.
What do you like?
Yeah, we'll look at the first game on Friday afternoon, Chooks versus the Dragons.
Yep.
Your most hated team in the comp for no reaon.
There's reasons that I'm probably not willing to discuss on air.
Fair enough.
We've copped it enough lately. I don't need to get into it anymore.
Well, they're $2.08 outsiders as of Tuesday morning. We're recording the Chooks $1.78 favourites. I think you've actually taken the Roosters as your leg in the multi this week.
I have
On the podcast.
I
didn't touch the head-to-head market, but I think most footy fans will know that Dragons left winger is a pretty reliable try scorer at the moment. One of the best edges in the comp for mine right now. They got young Dylan Egan, who's come in, an absolute dog out there on the left edge. He gets through a lot of the dirty work early, runs great lines, very physical, and then halfway through the game, Luciano Leilua comes on, a completely different skill set, super silky,
beast,
lovely hands. I mean, he can run over the top of you as well. Yeah. But between Luch, Gutho, Flanagan, and Val Holmes, they've got 4 guys who can pass, kick, and run. And what that's creating is a variety of different looks whenever they swing down to that left edge. They always set up on the far post, open up the open side of the field, and then they go half to fullback, generally. But then they're all picking up different options along that line. And I think it'll be Sione for now, making his NRL debut, or at least coming back into the NRL this week after impressing in the trials. Show me the money, Tuipulotu's injured, as is Matthew Fenai. So, yeah, I think Sione for now is a great value. Should get around about $2, I think, for him to score.
Yeah, okay.
Once the market's open. That's where I'm looking for that game.
I know that the Chook scoreline against Penrith is not a good readback, 12-40, but I thought the Roosters showed a lot of promise for at least the first 55 minutes. I'm willing to say. I just don't believe in the Dragons. And
well, they were win-loss all last year. I think they're going back-to-back for the first time this season.
Yeah.
I just think they've got a lot of repeatable looks in their attack, whereas the Chooks at the moment, I agree. They were in that game early. A couple of missed chances through Tedesco might have made the game go a little bit differently if Chooks were able to apply some scoreboard pressure, but they ended up chasing their tail. I think an injury to Nat Butcher, Angus Crichton last week. So, yeah, there was a bit of disruption for Easts. I can see why you like them head-to-head, but, yeah, kind of like what the Dragons are doing, and Shane Flanagan's good to watch right now, so I'm all on board the Red V.
Anzac Day last year, Roosters put 60 on them. I'm hoping something similar.
I had forgotten about that you mentioned on the pod.
How could I forget? All right, you want to talk Sharkies, specifically around the ruck?
Yep. Been waiting for it.
Dive on in, mate. Well, I've always said the quickest way to the try line's behind the ruck.
Straight through.
You know I've always said that.
You have always said that, famously.
And that's something that the Sharkies are kind of exposing at the moment.
Well, they've been looking for the right mix in attack all season. We've spoken about it a lot. It just hasn't been clicking. Trindle looks like he's taken on a bit of an elevated role. Hines and him are both playing both sides of the ruck, which is a really good look for Cronulla, but what we needed to see from them was creating some momentum around the ruck first before trying to play coast to coast and hit the edges. And I think that's what they did in NRL round 7. Blake Brayley had 2 or 3 try involvements, picked up Oregon Kafusi close to the line, and then he collected another offload, I think, to put Adam Fanua-Blake over. When he's asking questions through the middle of the field, it forces the defence to compress. If they don't compress, Sharks are going to score on you through the middle. They've got big bodies who are mobile.
The biggest bodies, one would argue.
The biggest, baddest bodies. They've also got a guy in Cam McInnes who can tip, and Blake Brayley's a really underrated ball player. So if you don't compress your line when they're punching through your middle, they're going to hurt you. And that's what happened on the weekend. Once they created those inroads, they were then able to shift, and we saw Tricky and Hines have some joy on the edges. So, yeah, I think they can do the same against the Knights here. The Knights' attack has been terrible.
Tigers, you mean?
Tigers, sorry. Yeah. My bad. I've got my...
That's all right.
List wrong. Yeah, the Tigers were exposed by Mitch Moses, I think. They're doing a lot of good things. They've improved a lot this year. but a good halfback, punished a few of their fifth tackle choices, a few of their options out of yardage, and I think the Sharks can do the same here. So, yeah, I like Cronulla to continue their winning run. I'll take them to cover here.
Cover? Yep. Said the 7.5 point line. I'm going 13 plus. The West Tigers are cursed, and I think they've got so many off-field issues that I just...
Every day another one keeps popping up.
There's just... I don't know if they'll ever be good again. Blow them up. Let's go back to 16 teams, I reckon. No more buys. How good would that be? Let's talk about two of the most exciting halves going around in the comp this year. They go against each other on Sunday afternoon. It's Jamal Fogarty, no relation, against Isaiah Katoa, who I would say had his best game of his short little 50-game career last week against the Storm.
Yeah, fair take. He absolutely carved him up with every touch of the ball.
He
was fixing defenders. The tempo that he plays with, slowing, speeding up, straightening, squaring his hips. All that jazz, that's what we look for in guys like Cherry Evans and Munster and Cleary.
You know who it reminded me of? It might sound weird and I might sound like a flog, but
where are you going?
Scott Prince.
Yeah,
Scott Prince. I saw shades of there. A lot of just fancy little footwork and showing and drawing in the A's and B's like you were talking about. Yeah, we've got a proper half, I feel like, again, which I just don't know if we've had that for a while, that flashy little half.
Yeah, well, I think he's got flash as well, but it's the repeatables. Every time he gets on the ball, he's not just turning and catching and tipping to a forward in yardage. He's fixing this defender. He's making this guy can think, am I going out the back or am I playing short? And that little indecision, those little 1%ers over the course of a match, that's a positive involvement for this front rower taking this hit up here rather than him getting gang tackled and put on his back. So throughout a game, every time Katoa got on the ball, he was creating positive matchups in yardage, and then it created a few highlight reel moments as well. So, yeah, I love what Isaiah is doing. I think Joey Johns and everyone in the game right now will tell you he's the best halfback prospect we've got right now. And then what Jamal Fogarty's doing, super experienced half. Probably not with the class or the silk and the nuances that Fogarty's playing with, but in terms of his decision-making, I think he's integral to what Canberra are doing right now. He makes smart decisions, he makes safe decisions and calculated decisions throughout a contest while Canberra just cause chaos around him.
Yeah, and I think he came into the league with that sort of skill set because he did years at the Burleigh Bears and, honed his craft, and the Titans finally gave him a chance and he was such a calming presence at the Titans. Yeah, calming
is a good description.
And it's good to see him not only bring that to the Raiders, but I feel like he's just gotten better and better.
Relishing in that role.
Now that I think he missed a fair chunk of last year. But
with a pec injury, And we thought that was going to be the one position they couldn't afford to replace. And they did a good job there last year with Weeks and Strange. But yeah, what Fogarty's doing now while Canberra just play ad-lib, eyes-up footy around him, he's the one who's kicking them into corners on field, putting them into a good position on fourth tackle for a fifth tackle kick, earning forced dropouts when the points aren't coming in, good ball. He's a hell of a player. So 2 sevens at the top of their game right now, one at the back end of his career and one very much in its infancy, but both of them being just as effective in terms of the result. So, yeah, I'm going to back either team 1 to 12 here.
Got your splinters in your bum.
Splinters again. Yeah. I had a shocker with these last week, but Redcliffe potentially a few injuries coming out of that game against Melbourne. I think Plath, Gilbert, Nicarima. There's a few big names there. So we're not sure what the teams are going to look like recording Tuesday morning. But, yeah, I think if the Finns can continue to do this little things around Katoa, he's going to make enough smart decisions with the ball to keep this one close.
So let's put a multi together with those 3 games.
Let's do it.
Sydney Roosters, St George Dragons, where are you going?
Take Sione for now, who I'm assuming will be the left winger. Should get about $2 for him.
Is it just the left winger there, regardless?
Just that left winger,
regardless of who it is?
Whoever it is, give it to me.
Where were we next? We're going Raiders, Dolphins. You going the Splinters?
Yep. Either team 1 to 12 down there in Canberra. It's a tough road trip, but I think the Finns can keep it close.
And then Tigers, Sharks.
Cronulla -7.5. I think the line is right now. Yeah, I don't hate 13 plus either, but yeah, we'll keep it safe for the multi.
There you go. Should be good for the long weekend.
Let's eat.
You win some, you lose more. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website